PGA European Tour is brought to you by Volvo.
Low scoring on high ground. That's been the story so far in the Canon European Masters at Crans-Sur-Sierre, perched 6,000 feet up in the Swiss Alps. This is the 50th time that the tournament, incorporating the Swiss Open, has been held at this spectacular, much-loved venue overlooking the Rhone Valley. Crans-Montana was the venue for the World Alpine Skiing Championships in 1985. Maria Walliser was the local hero then. In the old days here, the wooden skis were replaced in the summer by hickory-shafted golf clubs, and down below the summit at the Crans-Sur-Sierre course, designed by two Englishmen, they enjoyed their summer sport in contrast to the exertions of the winter activities. Yeah, one of the most beautiful venues for golf in the world, possibly. The setting is exceptional, and the golf has been pretty awesome too. Colin Montgomery yesterday shot a 65, 6 under par. He's never won here. He was playing with that man, Eduardo Romero. The Argentinian joined on that number by Lee Westwood, who's well over 300 birdies this season. And Sam Torrance, a 65 from him as well. Malcolm Mackenzie, who had adjusted his hands on the grip whilst putting, it seems to have done the trick, and he shot a 65 as well. But the leader, Paul Broadhurst, on 7 under par. And the Englishman working hard at the moment with Bill Ferguson on his impact position, putting pretty well too. Mystic Michael Campbell said to Paul on Wednesday night or Thursday morning he had dreamt that he had shot or would shoot a 64, and that's exactly what he did. What will Mystic Michael come up with on day 2? Second round of the European Masters, live from Crans-Sur-Sierre in the shadows of the awesome Alps. This golf course covered in snow for 6 months of the year, so not too long for the green staff to get the course prepared. But Sam Torrance, even though the greens are a little bit spiky and bumpy, is playing extremely good golf. His best golf of the season, no question about that. And he's moved to the top of the leaderboard after 13 today, 11 under par. Bradley Hughes, the Australian, also making a move. But it's GI Sam Torrance blowing Crans apart at the moment. Well, he's changed his putter. He's gone back to the Titleist from the Vijay Singh model, and he seems to be stroking the ball much better on the greens. And now 4 shots clear of Bradley Hughes. 6th hole at Crans, par 4, fairly straightforward, narrow enough off the tee, plenty of fir trees to potentially get in the way. Of course, in the thinner atmosphere here, the ball travels considerably further, 10% further. Sam, who began at the 10th today with an iron. Perfect position from the Scotsman. Not a great season for Sam. A reaction to his marvellous successes of last year, he says. And here's Paul Curry, who you might remember played with such consistency at the PGA Championship at Wentworth, finishing 13th. And yesterday had a rare enough excursion into the mid-60s. Former Jersey Open champion. Here's Barry Lane.
Stand, please.
Anderson Consulting champion last year. Sam Torrance, of course, has won the European section of that, beating Colin Montgomery in the final at the Oxfordshire. And Sam said that also was one of his problems this year, that he banked so much money from that, that motivation subsequently became a bit of a problem. Never online from Barry Lane, who had a 67 yesterday. One of 37 scores under 70. Darren Clark, who hasn't been happy with his putting for quite some time. But from tee to green, he's playing immaculate golf. He really couldn't play much better, he says. Torrance with not too far to go, looking for yet another birdie. Pin 11 paces on from the right, and right at it from Sam, but well, half a club short. What do you think of that haircut, eh? He's had 4 missed cuts this season and 5 haircuts in the last month. Seve 1 under par. The cut in this tournament expected to be around par, possibly 1 under.
Just keep still, please.
Seve hovering around what will probably be the borderline. And the same shot as Torrance. Seve doing quite a lot of work in his swing in recent times to try and alleviate the back problems he's suffered. Now Clark at the 7th. He's had driven the green here, so this is still for a birdie. And a good putt from Darren, former Belgian Open champion. The Ryder Cup captain on the 6th green. It was dead on line. Still seems to putt very well, Seve. That part of his game hasn't gone, and that's the part of your game that usually goes when the years creep on. And plenty of snow on the top of the mountains. Skiing season not that far away. 4 months away now. Now Torrance, will he have learnt from Seve's putt? If he's gone to school on it, he'll should know the line, but he didn't hit it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Muttering oaths to the god of golf. Familiar swing of Paul Broadhurst, that fly rod-like flick at the top of the backswing. The overnight leader after a 64. The 7th, now we saw Darren Clark driving this green a short time ago. It's definitely on. No body language, which would suggest that the ball is online, and that's a majestic shot from Barry Lane. Pin rather treacherously placed, just 7 paces from the front of the green. Good positive strike, had the ball running at the hole. Nice combination of accuracy and aggression from Paul Broadhurst. And a pro's putt, that one. Sam Torrance, who played really well yesterday. Didn't putt that well, so overnight changed broom handles. Two putts for a birdie. It's nice to have that luxury now and again. There's certainly a plethora of opportunities on this course, renowned for low-scoring feats. Low crawl wouldn't be as easy as Nippenberg was a couple of weeks ago. And that for a birdie. Big Darren all in black and silhouetted against the green background. Looks like a mean gunslinger. Well, he needs a black Stetson to complete the look, and that's well, putting has been his downfall. There's no doubt about that in recent times. And if you can get that putter going, he'll be shooting very low numbers. Broadhurst, coached by Bill Ferguson, who's also working with Woosnam and of course Colin Montgomery, and working on a slightly different impact position. Seems to be working pretty successfully at the moment, but the overnight leader is already 6 shots back. He led by 1 shot overnight. And an incredible turnaround. Sam Torrance playing blistering golf. I'll fail to take advantage of the superb tee shot there, Barry Lane. Seven shots behind his fellow Ryder Cup player. Well, the views are quite staggering. I'm expecting Julie Andrews to leap out from behind a tee box at any moment and sweep across the background in a floral dress and full voice. But hopefully not at the top of anybody's backswing. It's a good shot from Torrance. Up and down for a birdie. Good 3-ball this by Asteris Torrance and defending champion Matthias Gromberg. That was very close to being a great shot, but quite a drop off the front of this green. Lee Westwood, winner already this season. Beautiful. Beautiful blue skies again here today in Switzerland, and falling into the same trap as Ballesteros and Torrance a few moments ago. Clubbing difficult in the thinner air, takes a while to adapt. And Torrance downhill looks to have judged it pretty well. A hard man's Roger Whittaker with that haircut. Nice Sevi, not too far from the flag, but that's the penalty for missing the green if you do go for it. No, and he's played that. Oh, magnificent from Ballesteros. The legendary short game of the old master. Here's Big Darren at the par 5 9, 618 yards this hole. And Darren ripping one close to the green. A vast effort from Darren Clark, one of the biggest hitters around. In the background there, it sounds like they're doing some avalanche blasting. Being a skier, I know that sound well, and it's quite a frightening sound if you're out there on the slopes. Now, a bit of a slope on this putt. Well, it was pretty straight in the end. It did not much of a break, and fine putt from Torrance, and certainly changing the putter has made a big difference. And he leads by 6 shots. And he's doing to this field what Ian Woosnam did in Germany a couple of weeks ago. Now Darren Clark, he'll not be happy with that from there. Little article in today's Golfer this month. Darren said if he could improve any part of his game, it would be his short game, which he feels isn't quite up to standard. Now Westwood, Sevi and Torrance left it short, and a little bit rough from Westwood. Wry smile, but he gets his 4. Relieved in the end. Torrance on the par 3 8th hole. In 7 paces from the left. Oh, I think that just about stayed on the green stuff. I think he suits that actually. Looks pretty well. The short hair and the beard. They're very fashionable on tour this year. It seems quite a few players of those little goatee type beards. Maybe they found a box of wigs. Because there certainly has been a proliferation of them this season. Now here's Clark. Quick putt. And well, he could roll 2 shots into 4 here if he's not careful. Paul Curry, plenty of green to play with, plays a nice little recovery shot. Now Darren for 67. Oh dear, dear, dear. The woes of Big Darren on the greens. Almost reached this green in 2 shots. And he's wasted a big opportunity there. But still, despite that, shoots 68, but he is furious. the blasting on the mountains, and at the moment Torrance blasting the field away, but well, he's left himself with a lot of work to do to make par here. Ah, nice putt from Paul Curry. 7 under par. A member of the group forlornly at the moment anyway, chasing the Scotsman. And Barry Lane's hit 2 big shots up this 9th hole. Yeah, that's what Darren Clark was hoping to do, and fine approach, and it shows the value of a good short game at any level. Meanwhile, 1 hole behind. Listen for the rattle. Yeah, there it goes. Barry Lane for his birdie. Well holed, nice finish for the Englishman. Little bit up and down, but his front 9, the back 9 on the course, 33. Westwood. What a season Westwood's having. Full of confidence, full of aggression, going for everything, and oh yes, magnificent. It landed in just the right place. The only chance really you have of getting close to the flag is if you just catch that little collar of rough at the top of the bank, and he did just that. Curry again showing a deft touch from around the greens. And Seve a little bit close to the pines for comfort. He's got to watch that tree in the left-hand side. Well, so close to disaster in amongst the roots there, but it's ended up in pretty good shape. Now Torrance, who's used 7 wood this week and this season to great effect. Used to be, you know, almost embarrassing club to have in the bag for any player. You sort of were admitting that you couldn't play long irons, but now that Torrance is using them, I think we'll find a lot more 7 woods loitering in golf bags across the country, across Europe. Curry playing with Mark Rowe. And again, he's holed out very well today. Westwood with a real opportunity for an eagle here. As he hit it, it's quick down that slope. And that's a good putt, well judged. Hearing that Philip Walton has retired from the tournament. He made a good start to the battle for Ryder Cup place last week at Collingtree, but I'll try and bring you the reason for that retirement for the Irish viewers as soon as we can. Torrance, oh, it could go in. Oh, what a shot from Torrance. What a way to finish. Well, that's spectacular. I'm hearing that Walton has a stiff neck. That's why he's out. And Seve, well, that shot not as stiff as Torrance's shot, that's for sure. Broadhurst for a birdie. .64 yesterday, he had a 62 in the German Open, a 64 in the French, and 65 in the Open Championship, so real reputation for low scores as Broadhurst. So is Seve, but in the past. Oh, thank you. Hey. These are more like it. Maybe those low scores are just around the corner again for Seve. Hugely popular figure, and a 68 for Seve. The 3 under par. He's safely inside the cup, no doubt about that. And grandstand finish in front of the grandstand, and Torrance as well. And that is at 63 from Sam Torrance. His dad spotted a few faults in the swing, and they've been working hard at Wentworth. 5 hours of practice, and that has worked tremendously well for Torrance. Paul Curry, 6 under par, in with a 70. But nobody really threatening Sam Torrance at the top of the leaderboard just at the moment. Paul Broadhurst, overnight leader, finishing with a 70, and he's 8 under par. So solid rather than spectacular today from Paul. And Lee Westwood, again earlier this morning. Didn't putt too well, but still managed to return a 70. Ross Drummond, the Scotsman, in with a 66, so good scoring out there today again. As usual at Crans-Sur-Sierre, 31 back. Great score for him in the back 9. And Bradley Hughes, the Australian, was going extremely well today, but as you can see, drop shots at 3, 4, 5 and 6 have knocked him back a little bit. We'll have some live action for you from Cron in just a moment. Torrance leads this tournament by 6 shots from the overnight leader Paul Broadhurst. Sam Torrance 65, 63, and a welcome return to form for Sam Torrance, and coincidentally right at the start of the battle of the second tournament, into the battle for Ryder Cup points and a place in the team in Valderrama. Ole Nordberg is 4th tournament of the season. He's going well. A lot of players under par. One of them, Severiano Ballesteros, 3 under. He chipped in at the last hole. Daniel Chopra, great hope. The Swede, tremendous player. Suffered a bit at Collingtree last week when he took a 10, you might remember, at the 18th hole in one of the rounds, but he's bouncing back from that. Bernhard Langer has not failed to win a tournament in each of his last 16 seasons. But he's running out this time, and it's that area of his game that's a problem. But that's a good putt, and right in the middle. Perfect. From that range, he doesn't seem to have a problem, but the closer he gets, the more the arms begin to twitch. Robert Allenby was out of bounds with his second shot, so the winner last week and 3 times on tour this season, not running as smoothly this week. Eduardo Romero, he was out of bounds as well with his tee shot. So a lot of problems here for this particular 3-ball, but as he recovered, irritatingly, a couple of seconds short. Romero playing with Montgomery. They pulled each other along yesterday to good scores of 65. Carl Sunnison, his second shot. Carl Sunnison tied for 8th in the German Open. Missed the cut last week, though. There's plenty of snow about. Get a bit of skiing in, although avalanche conditions perhaps. Firm snow, firm base, fresh snowfall, rising temperatures, skier's nightmare. Montgomery 6 under. That's how he started. So Romero and Montgomery not quite pulling each other along in the same way today, pulling each other along towards mediocrity this time. Now Allenby. You know, they say that in the old westerns, it's not the noisy bunch in the saloon who are the true gunfighters, but the silent guy at the back with his Stetson brim pulled down, and that's what Allenby reminds me of. Cool customer. That'll near enough what will probably be the cut point. Little bit of a haze today across the course, but the golf course itself bathed in sunshine. £128,000 the first prize here in the European Masters. Above the Rhone Valley, the Alps stretching as far as the eye can see. This the 15th hole, one of a number of reachable par 5s. The pin today at this 15th, fairly straightforward par 5 it is. 4 paces on from the left, so a tight enough pin position. And that little bunker you can see on the left-hand side of the green, very much in play. And if you're in there where the pin is, it's hard to get up and down. As we showed yesterday, quite a few players had their problems in there. But still giving up over 100 birdies this hole. A couple of eagles as well. Here's Monty on the 15th tee. Carl Sunison, I think. Adopting something like the Langer method. Yeah. Nice stroke. Lovely stroke. So smooth. And Sunison 6 under par, so showing good form in the last month or so. Getting all the right encouragement too. Miguel Angel Jimenez, glorious finish at Collingtree, you remember. But he took a 7 in the 9th, and well, that one goes in. Spaniard who is determined to make the Ryder Cup team before his career ends. Sam Torrance, oft times a Ryder Cup player, heading in that direction again with a great start after 36 holes to this tournament. 14 under par, 65, 63, and well clear of a chasing pack that includes big names like Colin Montgomery, Per-Ulrik Johansson. More live golf very shortly. Welcome back to the Canon European Masters, a very important event in this country, ranked alongside the Montreux Jazz Festival, the St. Moritz Polo Tournament, the Lucerne Music Week, the Locarno International Film Festival, the Swiss International Tennis Games at Gstaad, and the Art Fair in Bern as one of the 7 main items in the Swiss cultural and sporting agenda. Sam Torrance leading. Peaks all around us here in the Alps, and Sam reaching his own personal peak with a 63 today, following on from yesterday's 65. Have a brief look there at Miles Tunnicliffe. This is Per-Ulrik Johansson. On the 15th, his third shot to this par 5. Yeah, well, safe shot. And sporting a new design of spectacles today. Those are the type used by surfers mostly, and if those are the type I think they are, they can withstand a 12-bore shotgun at a range of 70 yards. Maybe he's expecting a sniper. Now Langer, having judged his second shot to this par 5 to perfection, he was away on the right-hand side behind a mound that in the winter would probably pass quite comfortably as a nursery slope for skiers. Had to get the ball up pretty quickly, but he's left himself with no more than a pitch into the green. If you don't hit a good tee shot at this hole, then of course you rule out the chance of going for the green in 2, and you've no option then but to leave the ball on the plateau with your second shot and take your chances for a birdie from there in. Home turf for Bossert.
Come on, draw.
Caddy asking the ball to draw, and it's a good shot, a good birdie opportunity. Crowd here this week very enthusiastic about their countrymen. Paulo Carici did well here one year and got a huge ovation. I think he finished 4th. Bernard Langer, 1 over par. And that's a poor shot by the standards of the great Langer, and he's in danger of missing the cut. Would certainly have been looking to birdie this hole. His coach Willie Hoffman caddied for him at the German Open, and Langer not playing his best golf. Torrance most certainly is, after a very sluggish start to the season. Has found a rich vein of form. Samson in reverse, Sam Torrance. The haircut has made him better, stronger, not weaker. Johansson, after playing a percentage third shot in to this par 5. The greens are a bit spiky, slightly bumpy, but considering the fact that they are under snow for half of the year, they're in remarkably good condition. And players who've been here for many years can't remember the course looking quite as well. But 5 under for the Swede. Still blasting away up in the mountains. There will be skiing, of course, in the summer on the glacier. Remember, Phil Mickelson broke his leg very badly while skiing, so maybe not advised for golfers. Miles Tunnicliffe, 5 top 10s this season. Really has made a big impact in the European Tour this season. Bernard Langer missed his usual caddy, Peter Coleman, when he was playing in Germany. Coleman was caddying for Scott Hoke on the other side of the Atlantic. A few weeks' time, Langer will be at the sumptuous K Club in County Kildare, defending his Smurfit European Open title. Paul Broadhurst alone in second place. And Darren Clark, despite missing umpteen putts, is 6 under par. But a lot of players in the frame for that second spot at the moment. Torrance making the tournament all his own at this stage. Torrance, of course, has won 6 tournaments in the last 2 years. No. It's very, very rarely that we see any golf hole played as poorly by Langer as he's played this one. Carl Sinnison. Now Allenby. Tugged his tee shot slightly. But the bunker looks to a fairly flat exit point. Well, he didn't take much sand there. It sounded like looked like a very clean impact, clean connection, but he's left himself with a wickedly difficult bunker shot. Pin a bit further on than it was yesterday, but in the same line. Monty, now he's found the fairway right in the middle, just in front of the yellow spot. Good news about Colin's father is that triple bypass surgery he had seems to have been very successful. Monty will hopefully be a bit more relaxed about his game as a result, knowing that his father, it seems, is on the way to recovery. Good news. Narrow enough entrance to this green, but it is a par 5. Tunnicliffe at the 13th, par 3. 202 yards to cover through the thin air. No, it's 6 paces on from the left, so his ball will not be too far from the flag, but again, it's another tough bunker shot. Langer for his par after a weak chip shot.
Stop, it's all downhill.
So a painful bogey for Langer. Garbage, he says. Bossert. Just misreading that one. But nobody making a charge up that leaderboard to put any pressure at all on Sam Torrance. Sunnison for a birdie. Through the shadows, sometimes difficult to read the line, the pace. It's off off-putting to have those shafts of light between you and the hole. And anyway, Torrance, 6 shots clear. Paul Broadhurst second, Westwood in third place on his own, and then a whole host of players on 6 under par. Eric Giraud, an important tournament for him as he attempts to cling on to his tour card. Needs a good finish. Colin Montgomery not making any move at all today. This tournament then shaping up very much like the Nippenberg event. Allenby, French and English Open champion, British Masters champion. Nice little collection of titles for him. Now this isn't easy. Very little green to play with. He's certainly got plenty of height on it. Oh, what a great shot by Allenby. A real touch of class from the Australian. Beautifully judged. Flipped the ball high in the air, and as the saying goes these days, it landed like a butterfly with sore feet. Montgomery for an eagle. Colin Montgomery said yesterday that the talk is that, well, it's the truth, the fact is that the ball flies quite a bit further at this height, 10% further. Colin reckons it flies somewhere between 12 and 13% further. Now, knowing Montgomery's love of precision, I'm surprised he didn't come up with something more accurate than that. 12.6832% further, or something of that ilk. Montgomery for the eagle, and it's going to be a birdie. Needs something to happen pretty quickly now to keep any sort of pressure on Torrance. Torrance beat Monty, remember, at the Oxfordshire in the final of the European regional qualifier for the Anderson Consulting. Now Romero, who's hit one of the best second shots into this hole that we've seen in the first 2 rounds. And a very holeable eagle putt. .65 yesterday, but 3 over for his round today. The Argentinian, and that, oh, he was expecting that to break another inch, and that's all it would have taken. Now, Allenby, after that fine bunker shot, his bunker play not thought to be quite up to the standard of the rest of his game, which of course is at an exceptionally high standard. So comparatively, it still isn't too bad, and that was a great shot. So Allenby creeps towards safety in terms of the cut. And Monty to go under par for the day. '50th anniversary for this tournament. 50 times it's been played at Crans-Sur-Sierre, the European Masters, and before that the Swiss Open. 1939, Fifi Cavallo from France won the first tournament played here. I'm glad I wasn't christened by his parents. Oh, great shot from Tunnicliffe. Really wonderful recovery. I've seen some great sand play in the last 5 minutes. Per-Ulrik Johansson. Good performance at the Jack Nicklaus course, Valhalla, for the USPGA. And of course, Jesper Parnevik also finished very well there, so a big major for the Swedes. SAS is sponsor, that's an airline of course, but in those glasses he looks like a member of that other SAS. Oh. Yesterday too, Johansson missed quite a few short putts. Weakness this week. Here's the 16th. Now it's a 235-yard par 3. Now it was a par 4 up until the point when Cebriano Ballesteros got his hands on it. It was a 4-iron or so if you were playing it safely, short of the 2 trees, and then a flick onto the green. But now it's almost a dog leg par 3. It certainly is from the right side of the tee box when you have to maneuver the ball around that tree you can see in the middle of the fairway, just short of the putting surface. And Seve, he redesigned it, one of the players who had a bogey yesterday, and he didn't get much sympathy from the rest of the field, I can tell you.
Quiet now, please.
Some players using woods here yesterday. Monte, 7 under par. Looks like something in the order of a 4-iron, perhaps. And, well, that was a club too many. On the hard-packed terrain just beyond the green. He's not happy. Colin needs a mouthful of local honeycombed chocolate to settle his nerves. Carl Sunnison hit his tee shot to within 3 feet here yesterday. Drivable par 4. And, well, he's about pin high, yeah. Allenby getting his game together at last this week. Very often suffer reaction, of course, after a tournament win. Oh, and that is a great golf shot from Allenby. Wonderful tee shot. Third member of a juicy little 3-ball. Eduardo Romero, 4 under par. He's had a few disasters today. 2 over for his round. He's been out of bounds along the trip. And that's another great golf shot. And those 2 players certainly getting their clubbing right. An error from Montgomery. But no errors today from Sam Torrance, a sparkling 63 following his 65. And Colin Montgomery, well, he got a few birdies in and can close the gap on Sam Torrance, but it's the Scotsman's tournament so far. Crans-Sur-Sierre, the Canon European Masters, round 2. Colin Montgomery at the 16th. There are some typically chunky quotes from Colin yesterday. on the changes to this hole and the changes made to the course by Severiano Ballesteros. He said, I've heard more adverse comments regarding this hole, the 16th, than I have positive ones from everybody, and I'm an adverse comment believer as well. He's going to struggle to make 3 at it, the 16th hole. He also says, generally, I'm not impressed with the changes, and I don't think the Tour are either. It makes the course tougher, a half shot tougher to par. Carl Sinnison, look at that for a backdrop. Must be a photographer's dream, this golf tournament. This is the par 4 that he, oh well, almost dropped straight in there for a 2. Now, well, Montgomery struggles for a par. His playing partners have very good birdie opportunities here at 16. First to go, Romero. Well, when the ball set off, it looked like it was going to finish nowhere near the hole. Did its best to work its way back into the cup, but a par 3 for Romero. Bosser. Good effort from the Swissman. The Swissman. The Swissman, is that right? Scotsman's right, Englishman's right, Irishman's right, Swissman. Robert Allenby, glorious tee shot. At the moment, 1 under par, looking favourite for the halfway cut. Now, I've watched Romero's ball, and once his putt started to move right, it stayed right. Bernhard Langer. Now he's going to struggle to get into tomorrow's 3rd round. And I think he knows it too. Disconsolate, the proud German. Allenby taps in for his par at 16. In case you've just joined us, those noises in the background, noises off, blasting the snow, what snow there is on the top of the Alps. So listen, I almost hold out for a 2 here, this for a birdie, and not this time. And a par by no means definite either. Miles Tunnicliffe, this par 5 14th. Second shot from the fairway, looks like he's going for it. Well, he had the distance. And he's left himself with a good chance to get up and down for a birdie here. Lots of green ahead of him. Extraordinary setting here. A very good friend of mine, a fellow called Nigel Armstrong, is getting married today, and he's a low handicap golfer, and I've written a poem. Oh dear, Monday. I've written a poem which I've faxed through to the wedding reception, which will be read out in about an hour's time, and I might just run it past you when I get a chance to see what you think. It's all about the connection between marriage and golf. I can see many similarities. Monty picked up a shot at the last hole with a birdie at the par 5, but he goes back to level par for the day. Sam Torrance, and he stays 6 shots clear of the field. That 5 hours of practice at Wentworth on Monday has obviously done him a par of good, and a putter change as well, going from the Vijay Singh model back to his old Titleist one, and holding plenty of putts in the Swiss Alps this week. Torrance leads. Back soon. 3/16th at Crans-Sur-Sierre, the venue for the European Masters. Round 2 live. Bernard Langer has just hit his tee shot into about 25 feet here at this controversial Seve design. Sunison. Oh my goodness gracious me. I mean, well, he could 5-putt here. It's at moments like this that you wish the cameras were pointing elsewhere. And he's got that one in. Well, hold under the circumstances, but it's always the caddy's fault when things go wrong, isn't it? Miles Tunnicliffe for a birdie. Didn't play a great pitch shot, but it's a good putt. Well recovered. Yeah, up and down. Didn't you expect me to do that? Fortunate enough in the end, but it's a birdie. It's a 4 on the card. That's all that matters. Yes, I must read you my ode to Nigel on his wedding day I was telling you about before the last break. From today, life will never be the same. You see, marriage is like golf. It mirrors the game. Now Louise, that's his bride, has a grip as strong as your own. Hen pecking starts now. The seeds are sown. Like most of your drives during forgettable rounds, bachelor's pleasures are now out of bounds. You don't have to listen, but take it from me. She'll be as hard to control as a hook off the tee. What do you think? Has Seamus Heaney got a rival? Eduardo Romero at the 17th. Well, he got an unkind bounce there, but great check. It looked like, as the ball landed there, it caught a bit of a downslope and was going to shoot through, but that fooled me, and he's in good shape now. Montgomery playing with Romero. Montgomery, that is, dropped a shot at the last hole. And he's a great exhaler of breath when things aren't going well. Oh, well, that got the little shoot forward that I thought Romero's ball had got. And well, the pin's in a very tough position here at 17 today. Just 7 paces on, 5 paces from the left. And he's really got to put the pins in places like that to toughen up holes like this. Rocca and Montgomery, the kings of the body language on tour. Allenby. Now, trying the little seaside shot. It was a good idea because the pin, as you can see, is tucked in tight there. In fact, he might have been better advised to hit a shorter tee shot to give himself a full 60-degree wedge or whatever in, so he could carry it through the air. But getting in a bit of early practice for next year's Open Championship there. Little seaside bumbler. Once again, Peter Coleman is missing from the Langer camp. And this is his boss. It's going to take something amazing. Well, I don't think Langer's going to make the cut. Very doubtful now, having gone so many tournaments without missing a cut, and now missing them on a regular basis, by his standards, that is, of course. This will be his third missed cut of the season, and he hasn't played that many tournaments in Europe. Allenby, meanwhile, have to settle for a par. At the 17th. There'll be a players' meeting, we believe, next Tuesday to discuss the debacle at Collingtree last week, and Monty says he'll definitely be there. It's in the interest of all the players, he says. Something of a misread by the big Scot. Trailing Ian Woosnam in the money list now, and needs a first or second place this week to overtake the wee Welshman. Romero with good chance of a birdie here. Disappointing day for him, but he can recover some lost ground in the last couple of holes. Not like that. Two over for his round today. Yes, a lot of players not happy with the greens at Collingtree last week, and the comment was going around the course that the only decent greens were the ones you got with your steak in the restaurant. Greg Norman, by the way, was meant to play in this tournament this week. He got a substantial appearance fee last season and missed the cut, and said, out of embarrassment almost, he would come back the next year, but changed his mind not too long ago. Par for Montgomery. Six under par, that's where he started. Sam Torrance, 65, 63, 14 under par. Dad Bob says that if he'd put in as much work as he should have over the years, he would have won 20 majors by now. Well, maybe a slight exaggeration, but that'll be a disappointment for Sam, I'm sure, that he hasn't managed to get his name engraved on one of the major championship trophies, but he may well win the European Masters here this week. Getting deeply into Sam Torrance's lead here in the European Masters. 6 shots clear. A few of the scores in the clubhouse and out in the course. Thomas Bjorn, the local Swiss Bossert, level par after 16. Richard Boxall, retirement. He's had a disappointing season. Broadhurst, one of the chasing group, planning to put an assault on Mount Torrance tomorrow here in the Alps. He's several fairways clear of the field at the moment. Michael Campbell. Again, Aldo Cassera, the old Italian famous player of the Flory Van Donk era, plays here every year. Roger Chapman, 4 under par, playing well this week too. A lot of players flashing through in front of you there, looking to secure their cards for next season. Time running out, maybe 2-3 tournaments left for some of them. Robert Coles is going well. He's hovering around the borderline mark, and well, should have done enough already to retain his card, but one more decent finish here will definitely secure it. Ross Drummond played well today. The leaders total on the left of the screen, of course, 14 under par. That shows just how much Torrance has spread eagled the field here. Talking of field, Stephen Field looking for a good finish as well to help retain his card. David Guilford showing a little bit of form at last this season. He was in a few trees yesterday. Eric Giraud, he again looking to keep that tour card. The pressure on him this week, but he's facing it down pretty well. One of the Swiss amateur invitations going well. Thomas Gugler did so well in the German Open, his home tournament. Harrington chasing Raymond Russell for that Rookie of the Year prize, the Spanish Open champion. Mike Harwood's misery continues, and Nick Henning. I had the pleasure of meeting Nick at the Wanderers Club in South Africa last summer. Nice young man. Nephew of Harold, of course, the famous Harold Hennings. David Higgins looks like he will have held on to his tour card before this tournament, but solid performance here will make doubly sure. Francis Howley will be heading home for the weekend. Adam Hunter, European Tour winner. Miguel Jimenez, good form again shown by the Spaniard. Bernhard Langer, he's going to miss out. Weekend at home for him. Now Bossert in the meantime at this devilishly placed pin at the 17th. Sandy Lyle, disappointing week for him again. Malcolm McKenzie, good round yesterday. 65, slipping a bit today. The old grinder, Peter Mitchell. What a performer he is, consistency-wise. Mark Mullen, twice leader of the putting stats on tour. Not going well this week.
Keep back on the left, please.
I hear that Romero has almost shanked this ball out of the bunker, close to the tented area. This ball just dribbling into the sand after playing an iron off the tee, and Allenby having his problems as well. A quick flick and a flash. All he can do is fiddle the ball out sideways. Stephen Richardson, who came back into form this year at the French Open. Costantino Rocco, well, yeah, he's not likely to play at the weekend either. Rowan Rocco right on the borderline, level par, 1 under. We reckon will be the cut. Bernard Langer, 17. And he's played the shot that Robert Allenby tried to play a few moments ago, and he's played it much better. Great shot by Langer. Beautifully judged. Miles Tunnicliffe. There's Torrance. 14 under par. 17 under is the record 36-hole total at Crans-Sur-Sierre. Sandy Lyle did that. Monday at the final hole. Par 4 for a 71. And again, he's over club, did that at 16, and he did say in the press conference yesterday that distances are hard to judge through this thinner air. Club selection at a premium. It must be infuriating to hit one over the top of the flag and then find it's not the right number on the bottom of the club. Eighteenth hole. Serviano Ballesteros has added a bunker down the right-hand side. That was the bunker I think that Romero was in with his tee shot. Well protected by that crescent-shaped bunker, just short of the pin, just short of the putting surface. Crowd assembling, I presume, around Eduardo Romero, who half shanked his second shot from what was probably an awkward lie in the bunker. But of course there'll be a drop zone there for him. Miles Tunnicliffe for a birdie at the par 5. Already 6 under par. But 8 shots, would you believe, behind the lead. Oh, that bobbled.
It was in a hole.
Took a hop, skip and a jump. The ball was sitting in a depression, and Tunnicliffe is in a brief one himself now as a result. Langer, can he finish off?
Perfectly timed for Bernard Langer to have a birdie chance at 17. He waited long enough for you to join us. He studied the lines.
No, and that's, dare I say it, and I'll whisper it, a bit yippy. And, well, that sums up his tournament, sums up his year in some ways. Really struggling on the greens. Now here's Monday.
Yeah.
Quite close to the advertising hoardings on the front of the grandstand. Well, it looks as if he's going to play it. Romero will play from the drop zone. Monty down the slope, and wonderfully well judged. Great touch from Montgomery. Mine hasn't been maybe focused on his game because of his father's illness. He hasn't done a lot of practicing, hasn't done much work on technical aspects. The medical reports on his father after triple bypass surgery are very encouraging, so Monty will probably feel a bit more relaxed within himself as a result of that. Allenby. Oh dear, he's played some uncharacteristically poor shots today. He's been flanneling and flapping up this final hole. Moves an uphill putt for Sinison. Just staying up on the top of that plateau. You can see the slope away back down to his feet, and if he'd played that ball a yard or two, or landed it a yard or two further away from the hole, he would have had a much more difficult putt than he has. Romero taking plenty of time, waiting, letting Allenby play on. This is for a bogey. He was in trouble off the tee and duffed a chip, and this is quick, lightning fast. It was always drifting left, and oof. Well, what a difference a week can make. He lived by the putter last week, dying by it a little bit this week, and a round of 71 level par. But a double bogey at the last could be costly, depending on the cut. Montgomery taps in. He also has a 71. 7 birdies. But too many black numbers. Romero doesn't want to make any mistakes over the ruling here, of course. He'll be getting good advice, though.
Si estás dentro de los 4 palos, sí, la dropa fuera. ¿Sabes? Aquí no está la line of sight. No sabes que si está dentro de 4 palos, se dropa en el siguiente. Está bien. David.
Seems to be some confusion here over line of sight relief. It may be that Romero has options here.
Sorry, inside, of course, not outside.
It'll take quite a while to sort out. Frustrating for a player.
He's not hitting the bar. He won't hit the bar. The ball's within 2 club lengths, I would say, and he's not hitting the bar. Well, then it should interfere between him and the hole, shouldn't it? It's right on line, yeah. No, within full club length, so I don't understand if he's on the inside of the barrier. Might be outside the barrier. He's in between the barriers and the style.
Sí, déjame la juego abierta, perfecto. Un dropeo más, ya me voy más allá.
No, sí, lo que tienes que hacer es a 4 palos. Tienes que ir a 4 palos.
Sí o sí tengo que ir a 4 palos.
Sí.
No puedo jugarla de casi.
No, te quieres jugarla, sí. ¿Quieres jugar?
Sí.
Eduardo Romero, a former winner of this championship in 1994, with a spectacular total of 266. Not the lowest here, that was in 1984. Jerry Anderson, 261. That remains a European Tour record in terms of being under par, 27 under. Now at last, Romero. Still with a lot to do at 18. It's been a very irritating round for Romero. Lots of drop shots and errors made. Carl Sunison for a birdie at this huge par 5 ninth. And always left. But a 67. Started in the back 9. Great stuff going out. 31, 4 under par, including that eagle. at his 5th hole. Clouds shrouding the mountains. Of course, the weather conditions can change so quickly up here. Sunshine 1 minute, blizzard the next. I know, I've experienced it whilst skiing. Capricious, to say the least. Romero. He's going to drop at least 1 shot here. But another stunning day. We've been very lucky with the weather here. Sunshine wall to wall almost for 2 days. This for a 5 at 18. And a weak putt from Romero, and a sad way to finish his round. A 6, and that's a 75. Not a round he'll remember with much fondness. Difficult day for all 3 players, in fact. Awesome, stunning, spectacular. I've used them all this week. It's only round 2. Simply breathtaking. Sam Torrance has enjoyed himself in the Swiss Alps this week so far. 14 under par, 65, 63. Spread eagling the field. Only 1 player now within 6 shots. That's Paul Broadhurst. Although Ole Nordberg, in only his 4th tournament of the season, putting on a little bit of pressure, and he can still make birdies. Barry Lane and Carl Sunison finishing on 5 under par. David Higgins is going well, so too Peter Mitchell. Birdie opportunities lie ahead for them. Miguel Martin lost in the playoff last week. Good form again this week. Second counting tournament towards the Ryder Cup, of course. Looks like 1 under par is going to get in tomorrow. Gordon Sherry, well, he needs a cut or 2. 206th on the money list. And what a place to play golf. We're back again live tomorrow, 2 o'clock Central Eastern Time, for the 3rd round of the European Masters at Crans-Sur-Sierre. Let's hope the weather conditions hold. Sam Torrance, 3 tournament wins last season. Poor this year, finished 4th in the Spanish Open. But apart from that, hasn't really been firing. This week he is. And he's going to take a substantial lead into round 3 of the European Masters.
The PGA European Tour was brought to you by Volvo.